Free mind, you crazy for this. Soulful. It's like our responsibility to make us feel something. You know, to make people feel what we feeling. Hey, yo.
Reggie here, and I want to welcome you to another one of my live streams. This is Comics Today, a show that we do on Wednesday to celebrate the best day of the week, that being New Comic Book Day. And I want to give a huge shout out to all the LCSs out there and all the folks that managed to make it to their LCS to support local comic shops. This is a show, again, that we do on Wednesday to celebrate the best day. And as part of that, we are going to go to the chat here momentarily, and I want to hear what it is that you all may have picked up earlier today. And it doesn't matter if it's a new book or a new to you book. I want to know about it. But if it happens to be a truly new book and it was a good read, let us know that as well. That way we can put it on the top of our reading stacks. As you all know, I did not make it to an LCS because I don't have an LCS anymore, but something did show up here at the house that I will show you all momentarily. Another reminder that I'll give you is that this show that you're listening to on the YouTube machine will be broadcast again as part of our podcast. We have more than 100 episodes available on your preferred podcasting platform. If you search for Regie Collects, you will be able to find me there. Something really cool happened while I was sitting in the background over here reading the comments that were coming out. It appears that Tina says I have hit a major milestone on YouTube. I did not know that I hit a milestone, but Tina, the OG Blue Rich, has put me on notice. I think I saw, and Tina, please correct me if I'm wrong, I think you said that we have hit 3 million views. Is it 3 million views or 3 million something else here on the YouTube machine? And a couple of people already shouting out what they picked up at their LCS, but you have to give me a second. I need to figure out what the actual stat is before I move on. Tina, come on now. Stop saying hello to everybody and tell me what the statistic is so I know what's going on. So it's 3 million views. Okay, 3 million views here on YouTube. I probably should do a better job of tracking some of this stuff. I do want to give a huge shout out. I want to give a huge shout out to my man Lee Atkins, who is the administrator for the Discord server. I saw a little bit of discussion about that as well. Lee does a really good job of managing the Discord server for me. He also upgraded his copy of, I think it was X-Men 4. He posted it on the Discord server. He also tagged me on Instagram. And I'll have to admit, I don't get jealous. But I was definitely feeling a certain kind of way. I think they call it happiness. I think it was happiness. Let's go with that. Happiness for my friend who picked up X-Men issue number 4, a 5.0 beautiful looking copy signed by Stan Lee, the real Stan Lee. Shout out to Lee for being able to upgrade that. He is a real fan of the X-Men. And what's interesting, I got into a conversation just last night with a guy about the Mutant Massacre, and he felt very strongly that the Mutant Massacre was undervalued. Yeah, I'd sort of disagree with him. I felt like maybe the Mutant Massacre story arc is maybe underappreciated, but undervalued. I don't know about that, right? I cannot at the moment think of a full story arc that is worth a tremendous amount of money versus individual books, more than likely one or maybe two of those books of a story arc that have some value to it. And I'm thinking about like Secret Wars, for example, and also Crisis on Infinite Earths. Those two great stories, right? Pick one of the Alan Moore or Neil Gaiman story arcs that they've done in the past. Typically, the arc itself is not worth a lot of money, but maybe 1 to 2 books are. But I'm definitely interested if somebody here in this live stream can come up with a story arc that has an arc that is worth a lot of money, I'd definitely be interested in hearing that. But with that said, I did start last night reading The Mutant Massacre from the very beginning. I was inspired by the conversation. This person seemed to have very fond memories of this story. And I was like, well, it's been a long time since I've read it. Let's go read it. So that's what I started doing last night. Steve White's giving a shout out to his LCS comic book edition. They put it in the title. They literally tell you that this is an addiction, and they put it in the title, and Steve White is here talking about his addiction. I don't know what to say to you. I don't know what to say to you, Steve. Mark picked up some stuff. Forever Forward, Grimm 4. I think the new story arc for Grimm is about to start up at some point. Gun Honey 1. Pigeons from Hell graphic novel, Frankenstein 1, a couple of other cool books. There was a light week for you last week, I do believe, Mark, but clearly you went heavy this week. Scrolling through, let me see. Herman, how you doing, brother? He said he made it to his LCS. He picked up Amazing Spider-Man 9, Edge of Spider-Verse 3, which I think has a first appearance in it. And Sacrament 2. Ooh, Sacrament. I think that's AWA issue number 1. I sort of enjoyed Sacrament number 1. I need to read Sacrament 2. That's what's up. Thank you, Squirrel Madness. I definitely appreciate that, brother. Scrolling down through, there we go, Ricardo. Ricardo has a new to him book. He says he just picked up his first copy of Secret Wars issue number 8. Congratulations to you, my friend. That is fantastic. Lee, how you doing, brother? It's good to see you, man. 3 million is crazy. I mean, at least 1 million of them are my own views. I mean... At least a cool meal. Phil Tastic is up in here. It's good to see you, Phil Tastic. He says no LCS, but he stopped at Dewey's. He picked up 2 X-Men issue number 1. What is it? Quiet Council variants. Bought a copy of a book called Isolation. It's a strange book, isn't it? I've heard some rumors. Of this book called Isolation. I don't know if I can put my finger on it though. I don't know if I can put my finger on exactly what that one was about. Scrolling through some of the comments here. Ricardo, thank you, brother. I definitely appreciate that. Fight the Good Fight. Receive my Predator number 1 Del Auto variant set from across the pond. Congrats to you, brother. That's what's up. Lee, I like to bring up the old stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't get jealous, but I was definitely feeling a certain kind of way. No, as soon as I saw that, I knew exactly why you tagged me on it. And it's a beautiful looking book, brother. Beautiful looking book. And I know that you are a huge X-Men fan. So I am super excited for you. I think that's one of the great things, honestly, about this hobby. And I just recorded a video on this just yesterday. No, 2 days ago. I recorded it. The audio was jacked, so I had to re-record it. So I wasn't happy about that. But I recorded a video in which I spoke about the community and the fact that we all have, different things that float our boat, but there is a commonality to it. And it is in that commonality that we can find a way and a method to celebrate with other people, even if it's not necessarily your jam. You know what I'm saying? Even though X-Men is my jam, I can still celebrate with Lee Atkins and not necessarily get jealous of it all. Scrolling through some of the comments here. Scrolling. Let me see. I'm way behind. Milt is up in the house. How you doing, brother? It is good to see you. Let me see. How long is that story arc? Full story arc of Dark Phoenix Saga. All books are expensive. I need to check the data on that. How expensive are you talking, sir? And how big is that arc? Isn't that that's only like a handful of issues, isn't it? Isn't that like a handful of issues? I need to see. I knew I should not have extended this challenge with a Lee Atkins in the room. This guy's always got the data. Never trust a Lee Atkins. Richard, how you doing, brother? It is good to see you. Scrolling through. Let me see. I'm scrolling. What is that? Matt Woods. How you doing, brother? It's good to see you. Says he just logged into his new MacBook. Let's see how this works. My previous computer had crashed. That's what's up. You are newly upgraded, sir. Newly upgraded. I met my wife. Before I met my wife, I was never a Mac person. Never an Apple person. May have had an iPod. Yeah, maybe an iPod. Met the wife. She was a Mac person. My whole life now, by and large, is now Mac and Apple. It's I feel a certain way about that. Feel a certain way about it, especially when you have to buy something that has the Apple logo on it, because it is automatically expensive, no doubt about it. Steve White picked up 14 books, but the ones that I am excited to read are Masquerade? Is that what that is? Masquerade from Kevin Smith. Yes, the Kevin Smith. Also, The Least. The Least We Can Do, #1, and 10,000 Black Feathers. Steve White, I'll be honest with you, I've not heard of a single one of those books. I'll be completely honest with you, sir. I haven't heard of a single one of them. I did hear that Kevin Smith was doing some stuff, but I did not log in my gray matter what the book was. So that's what's up. All right, scrolling through some of the comments here, seeing what else is being discussed. Let me see. Jason, how you doing, brother? You picked up Shadowhawk 3D, Shadowhawk 3D, ASM 9, Edge of the Spider-Verse. I was on a live auction last night. This guy P Dot up in Pasadena was doing a live auction of some new books, and he had a couple of copies of the Spider-Verse 3. I did not pick anything up. Kingspawn 14, do a Power Bomb 4. That's all from Jason. That's what's up. Looking forward to Vampirella Mind Warp, says my man Milt. Always good to see you, my friend. Scrolling through, I'm okay with my addiction and declaring that it's the first step to one of my early, at least I feel it was one of my early non-comic book haul videos, as I was making that transition from being a content creator that only did hauls to doing other things. I think one of the things that I talked about is comics an addiction? And yes, it is absolutely addiction, no doubt about that. Matt picked up some stuff. Something is Killing the Children 6, one of the store variants from Unlikely Heroes. That's what's up. He said he wanted that book for a while. Well, congratulations to you, my friend. L. Smith, it's been a slow week for you. L. Smith only picked up 20 books this week. How many did the wife get, sir? I am curious about that. I've only been to an LCS twice, and I've never been to Free Comic Book Day. I'm a disgrace. No, Kevin, look at me. Free Comic Book Day is the worst day to go. There are lines. There's lines. There's lots of people. I do not recommend Free Comic Book Day. I do not recommend that, but I do recommend, if you can, get to an LCS, man. It is honestly a great experience. I mean, if you hang out in this chat, it's kind of sort of like an LCS, right? A lot of people hanging out here just talking about good stuff, man. You can be yourself and just have a good time. So I highly recommend LCS's. Free Comic Book Day, not so much. Kevin, how you doing? Picked up Spider-Man, Daredevil, Axe, and Am I Batman? That's what's up. Scrolling through the comments here. Let me see. Beckerman is on here talking about the Dark Phoenix saga. Might be the most valuable per issue average with the question marks. Secret Wars was definitely in the conversation as well as Crisis on Infinite Earths, he says. Frog Brawler's up in here. How you doing? ASM 9, Judgment Day 4, The Bone Orchard #1, and a bunch of other books. That's what's up. If 3 short boxes count as an LCS, I have one, says El Green Machine. Scrolling through, the Paradise is in the house. I heard they are sending a copy of Isolation up to the moon. I started watching, I watched a movie recently with Halle Berry, Moonfall. I think it's called Moonfall, and I want to say it's on Netflix. I just realized that I did not watch the end of that movie, but if you like some sci-fi type of stuff, Moonfall was not a bad movie. Not a bad movie. You can't go wrong with, Halle Berry. You can't go wrong with Halle Berry. I don't know if it's been a long time since I've seen a Halle Berry movie, but Moonfall, I just want an excuse to keep Isolation up on screen. I don't know what to tell you. Scrolling through the comments here. Let me see. Richard is still Richard. It could be worse. I could not be talking to you right now. You could be stuck in the drive-thru with no Regie on the go. I mean, that, sir, would be a true travesty. True travesty. Neo, how you doing, brother? So Neo has a really nice Marvel card that he posted up at the time he posted it, or at least at the time I saw it. The card was not in hand. I am assuming that the card is now in hand, and that is what he is reacting to. I called the CGCs today. I called CGC today, and I called them because I may have inadvertently checked the box when I submitted the signed copies of Isolation, the copies that were signed by Doug, myself, and Delia. They sent me a notice overnight that said your order is ready to pick up, and I said, no, sir, that is a mistake. So I called them and I said, hey, I think I made a mistake. I need you guys to send me those books. So they are doing the process to send the books to me, because clearly I'm not going to Florida to pick them up. But I was like, hey, well, I have you on the phone. Can you please check on my Marvel trading card order? Because I have 6 hologram cards that were sent in. The box went in. It was very quickly opened up. It was very quickly logged into the system. And it very quickly hit the grading process, and then it went to a black hole. It's been in a black hole like a week and a half. And I'm like, hey, can you check on this to tell me when this might ship? He says, yes, it looks like the next step is shipping. And my question was, well, how soon will it go to shipping? Fingers crossed that my Marvel cards come. I'm very excited to get these 6 cards back. Mostly because I spent a lot of money on them, and I'm ready to get them back to see how they turned out. But shout out to my man Neo. Rob, it is always good to see you. Buzzbox from Melbourne, Australia. Greetings and salutations to you all the way in Australia. Is anybody else here from another country? Canada does not count. Canada does not count, but is anybody else here from another country? Or is this one of your first times participating in a live stream? Give us a shout out and let us know what's up. So Lee Atkins is on the board here. Dark Phoenix is a heck of a run. 10 books. I guess that is a story arc. I mean, I guess it is. I mean, I was not thinking that, right? But 10 books, first solo Wolverine issue, first Kitty Pryde, first Emma Frost. First Dazzler. You shouldn't even mention that one. You shouldn't even mention. Shouldn't mention Dazzler. But Dazzler, I think, is in what is it? The Mutant Massacre. The Mutant Massacre. Dazzler's in there. Let me see. Scrolling through the comments. Seriously, Lee, thank you for dropping the knowledge on that one, brother. I definitely appreciate that. I did not think about the Dark Phoenix saga as a story arc in that framework, but I think that that's a very good point to make. I'm curious, Lee Atkins, do you think that the Mutant Massacre is an undervalued story arc? Is it undervalued or underappreciated? Because in my mind, those are kind of sort of two different things, but I'm curious what your thoughts are. Scrolling through, there's a battle. They're battling it out now. What the Dark Phoenix saga is. I am not going to participate in that. Scrolling down, Hawaiian punch in your face. How you doing, brother? It is good to see you, my friend. Welcome. L. Smith's on it. I ain't way behind on comments. I'm scrolling down. All right, so what is this? Super Mario Brothers #1 1990 for $2, and Incredible Hulk 331st Todd McFarlane for $2. Venom 1 1992. I don't know where you went. Oh, there you go. All of the swap meet. There you go. That's what's up. Scrolling through, the drive from Florida isn't as bad from North Carolina as it was from Cali. I respect that. Scrolling through. All right. See this guy. See this guy right here. This guy. This guy right here. All right, so let me show you guys something that showed up here at the house. You all know, if you watch the channel, you know that I am a fan of the Nosferatu. I am a fan of the vampires, potentially hence my like of the Morbius movie, which again, folks are by and large recognizing that movie is not trash. It is also the Netflix #2 movie. Just saying, but this showed up. Nosferatu from my buddy Mark. Mark sent this to me all the way from Canada. Green painter's tape included. Nosferatu. There's even a rat in here. There was a rat inside the box. You cannot go wrong. If you have Nosferatu, you have to have a rat. There's a note in here. It says, Reggie, you know when you send someone a challenge coin, you're going to receive a challenge coin. And and I saw this and knew you needed it. He is specifically talking about the Nosferatu, but he also sent me a really awesome challenge coin as well. It is a small yet robust coin. It is heavy. There are a couple of OZs. There are a couple of ounces right there. Shout out to you, Mark. I definitely appreciate that, brother. All right. Finally saw Morbius on Netflix and enjoyed it. sort of, kind of. Again, it wasn't as bad as people said that it was, right? Like, that's my overriding point, is not as bad as people said that it was. And again, I was entertained. I don't expect a movie every time I turn it on to be fantastic, but am I entertained? I was entertained. Have I ever dressed up as a vampire? Yes, when I was 7 or 8. I'm from Detroit. And in Detroit, we are hard people. We are hard people. You 7 is the last time you get to dress up. No, I'm joking. I don't do stuff like that. That's not necessarily my jam. Not necessarily my jam to dress up, but I did dress up as a vampire as a kid. I was way more fun as a kid. I have never dressed up. I was about to say I've never dressed up as an adult, but that's not true. I did dress up as Captain America. I was Black Captain America once. And the reason for that is I was technically still am, but I was a senior leader at a startup company, and I had to model good behavior. I had to be the change, right, that we needed to be. So I dressed up as Captain America. I had the mask, I had the shield, I had the military boots. I went to an army surplus place and actually bought military boots in order to dress up as Captain America. That's how serious I was about it. All right. Oh, you're talking dirty. Ooh, that's grimy. That's grimy. I thought the last Batman movie wasn't terrible. I thought it wasn't terrible. I definitely liked Rob Pattinson's Batman. I thought it was okay. I thought it was okay. It was dark. It was dark. I mean, there's certain stuff I could not see. Certain stuff I could not see. Zach, you better watch your mouth. They come for you. They come for you when you say stuff like that. They come out of the woodwork and they tell you that it's just bad. They tell you it's bad. They tell you it's trash. They tell you trust them. They watched it. You don't need to watch it. That's the kind of stuff that they say when you say that Morbius is not a bad movie. I did too. I did too. First time I fell asleep on it. It took me 3 attempts to finish watching the movie. It was long. It was long and it was dark. It was dark in the room. I went to sleep. I couldn't help it, man. Couldn't help it. There you go. There you go. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. I'm so glad that I ended up getting that book graded red. What is it? Red, White, and Truth. So glad that I ended up getting that book graded. Came back at a 9.8. Danny, how you doing, brother? It is good to see you. You have to give the movie a chance for sure, says Miguel. Super Miguel. All right. Speaking of movies, one of the first things that I want to talk to you guys about is a show that I've been watching as of late. I'm not going to say that it's good. I'm going to say if you need some entertainment, this is not a bad show to watch. It is called The Imperfects. It is called The Imperfects. And despite what this sub headline says of coming soon, it is out now. It's not bad. It's not bad. It is superhero light, Lite, superhero light. It's not a terrible show. It's not a terrible show. The acting's okay. Special effects are not great, but it's not a bad show to watch to kill a little bit of time if you need some background noise. You know what I'm saying? So not a terrible one. Not a terrible. I think Morbius was better. Let's be honest about that. All right. So one of the other things I I never saw that. I never saw that. That's lame. That's lame. That's lame. That is lame. All right. Let me see. Whoa. True story. I was Incredible Hulk one Halloween. The green dye made my hair fall out. I was a bald second grader for about 4. That's traumatic, brother. That is traumatic. Oh man, I feel bad for you, brother. There you go. Liger Styles on it. He says up to episode 4. You, sir, need to catch up. You, sir, you better jam because I am way ahead of you. Again, it's not a bad show. It's not a bad show. There you go. There you go. It is a good time passer. Like if you need background noise, if it's late and you're just like, I just want to watch something carefree, like I don't have to pay attention to every single little detail. It's not a bad show. It is not a bad show. So there you go. I think it's great when people agree with the things that I say, but I'm also not afraid to stand alone. I am not afraid to stand alone. I will tell you, there is another show that is going to be coming out that I honestly don't know jack about. I don't know jack about this show, but I'm still going to watch it. And it's some people will readily understand why I say that. It is a Star Wars. It is a Star Wars show. Andor. They actually just dropped Andor featurette, and it says takes fans to the beginning of the rebellion. I'm gonna be honest with you. I kind of sort of know what the rebellion is just because I've heard the words rebellion, but I don't really fully appreciate it, probably the way that a Star Wars fan actually does. I'm a Star Trek fan, not a Star Wars, but I am a fan of what they've been doing as of late with the Star Wars stuff. Like if it's Mandalorian like, I'm on board. Star Wars fans are only a week away from getting to see the first 3 episodes of Star Wars Andor, which is set to follow Cassian Andor before the events of Rogue One, a Star Wars story. The new series has already been confirmed to have 2 seasons, and the second season is expected to go into production soon. In honor of the show's upcoming premiere, Star Wars has released a new featurette that includes some of the show's stars, as well as showrunner, blah, 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 talking about the series. And again, there's a quote here. Andor is unapologetically ambitious, says one of the folks in it. What else did they say here? The featurette, I watched it. I thought the featurette was actually pretty good, to be honest with you. I, again, don't quite know what the heck is going on in it, but I enjoyed the little featurette and the stuff that they're doing with Star Wars. Again, if it's Mandalorian like, I'm definitely going to check this out because I enjoyed the Mandalorian. So Andor, and I do believe at D23 they actually released a bunch of costumes showing what this stuff looked like. I saw several videos on Instagram about it, and I'll be honest, I again still didn't quite know what it was. This article was the first that I've sat down to actually take some time to read what Andor was. I'm curious if there's anybody here in the live stream right now that is excited about this. I'm curious what your thoughts are. Alex says he was.
I didn't get that.
Oh,
could you try again?
No, I'm not talking to you. I think it got that whole thing. What did he say? I was floored when Disney announced Werewolf by Night. I think Mark sent me a message about that. I think he was all very excited about that. There you go. Jason's on the board. He says, I've been looking forward to Andor for a while now. I do believe that this Andor, and Jason, you may need to correct me about this. I do believe it's set 5 years before the rebellion. I think that was what I heard in something that I was watching or listening to. 5 years before the rebellion. So I guess they're giving themselves at least 5 seasons to be able to talk about what is actually coming up. So let me see. I'm scrolling through some of the comments here. Yes, rip my pants. I don't I'm gonna just click on anything with Star Wars. I'm in on it, says Kevin. That's what's up. Scrolling through 1 second season. Marcus is on here talking about some stuff. What are you talking about, sir? There's no second season that's been announced. It's been hinted at. I want to say that Neil Gaiman has, and I covered this. Neil Gaiman has come out and said that even if Netflix does not renew, they are ready to go for season 2. I think the Writers Guild website now shows a season 2 for Sandman, which is not surprising because Neil indicated that the writers were going to be writing it. So the Writers Guild having a second season in their system only makes sense, but that does not necessarily mean that Sandman has been picked up for a second season. It also doesn't mean that it won't be, right? I just think it's an interesting little thing. I have not watched another episode of Sandman in quite some time. I watched several of the episodes. I thought they were good. I just haven't revisited it, but good to know that folks out there are still enjoying it. Thank you, Marcus, for making that comment. Frog Brawler's on the record. He's going on the record saying that he bets Sandman goes to HBO. Well, here's the thing. I covered this as well on the Instagram. HBO Max's the CFO for Warner Brothers Discovery said at I think it was an investors meeting, that HBO Max and also Discovery Plus are undervalued. He says that, potentially they will, or somebody read into what he was saying, that potentially they will increase the cost associated with those two streaming platforms. So if they do that, they may have some salary cap to be able to bring over Neil Gaiman's Sandman if Netflix does not get on board. Amir, how you doing, brother? Paperbacks and soundtracks. That's what's up. It's good to see you, brother. Zach is on here. He says, I need Sandman season 2. Awesome show. Is this woke version called Andor? Oh, feel. I was not ready for that one. John's in here talking about he's not impressed. I am so glad that Doug is not here because those could be considered fighting words. Those could right there, right after it, right. Those are fighting words, man. What is that? Oh yeah, heads up if you watch Sandman when it first came out. There's episode 11. I think we actually spoke about that. That's the Cats issue, right? Or the Cats episode. I had a script highlighting that book that episode was based upon for about a month, and I recorded the video. And then 2 days before the video was released, they released that episode featuring the Cats. I was so upset. I was so upset because we would have been so far ahead of the curve had I recorded the video talking about the Cats issue before the Netflix released it. But you can't always win them. You can't always win them. Kevin's on the board speaking about not winning them. He's on the board talking about how potentially HBO Max is going to lose some customers as a result of this price hike. Again, brother, they are on the hook for cutting costs by $3 billion because of the synergies that exist between Discovery and Warner Brothers. $3 billion in synergies. That is why they have been cutting all of these various projects. That is why they've laid off roughly 170 people. And there are plans to lay off more people. And then they're also considering increasing the price of HBO Max, which I think is $14.99 per month, and also Discovery Plus, which is, I think, $6.99, because they need to dig themselves out of that $3 billion synergy hole. And I think they also have a massive amount of debt. So I think there's a lot of things that are at play right there. So Doug just felt a disturbance in the force. Well done. Well done. Let me see. I just watched the trailer for Black Adam. It looks fantastic. I'm going to be completely honest with you. Multiple people sent me. So here's the thing. I was going to release a reel on Instagram talking about the Black Adam trailer, right? Because I think I released one saying the trailer is coming tomorrow. And I was going to, as soon as the trailer came out, I was going to watch it. And I was going to do a reel. I was busy with work. I still have not watched the trailer. Still have not watched it, but I will get to it at some point because I've heard nothing but good things about it from various people. So another thing that I wanted to kind of hip you guys to, here we go. John's on the board. John's on the board. He says people are going to be tightening their belts with the price of food and energy. Brother, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think inflation was 9.1%. I think it's down to 8.5%, but it's still high, right? I think inflation is still high. And, I got into a big debate with a bunch of people about unemployment and stuff like that. And yes, there's fewer people that are unemployed, but even though you are employed, doesn't mean that you're making enough money to offset what's happening with inflation right now, what's happening with the cost of food, and certainly with energy. I saw a post up just yesterday. Somebody was like, I didn't know that oatmeal was $9 a canister anymore, or $9 a canister. It is expensive. And as a result of that, it is easy to eliminate streaming services. It's not so easy to eliminate food or gas if you have places to go and all that kind of stuff. So paperbacks and soundtracks is on the board. He says, let me tell you something. If HBO Max takes that price up, I promise I'll be hitting up the Hustle Man. Not the Hustle Man from the fourth floor. Not the Hustle Man. He's gonna run your cable for you, brother. That's what's up. Scrolling through some of the comments here. I won't be watching and or I will not support the kind of nonsense that people behind it are pushing on people, says Thor. I'll tell you, Thor spends a considerable amount of time talking about the stuff that he won't do. I wish Thor spoke about the things that he was actually interested in versus the things that he's not interested in. I find it fascinating. Scrolling through some of the comments here, inflation is a, you know, I like you. You know, I like you. They changed it. No, it wasn't inflation. They changed the definition of it. It was recession. It was recession that they actually changed for. What is that? I work for the largest bakery in the country, and our prices are increasing again in October. I think that is happening a lot, brother. I think that is happening a lot. Frog Brawler, absolutely. Folks that work 3 jobs aren't on the unemployment numbers, but they are feeling, no doubt about it. But they're employed, right? Unemployment's low. Unemployment's low. Everybody's great. No, it's not true. It's not true. People are still hurting, and if you have 3 jobs, you should be doing better than just scraping by. You know, it's unfortunate, and so I think we are seeing it across the board with a lot of decisions that people are making, that people have to make decisions to do what's best for themselves and their families and things like that. So I get it, man. Kevin says they better not raise the price on HBO Max. I don't need the person whose account. Oh my goodness. You are a nut, Kevin. Well done. He says, State of New Jersey approved natural gas price hike between 16 and 25% depending upon your provider effective 10/1. Sweet Christmas. I will fund the Sandman season 2 production. Oh, you balling like that, brother? Let me talk to you about this comic book that I have. Let's have a conversation. Let's have a conversation. Man, you guys are awesome. You guys are awesome. All right, let me scroll through. All right. The chat is indeed on fire. The chat is indeed on fire. There's no doubt about it. You guys are hilarious. You really are. Let me get you guys' opinion on this. I want to get you all's opinion on this. Fan art. Fan art is a very, very interesting thing. And I saw this piece of fan art earlier today. You all may have seen it as well. I thought it was incredibly well done. Like, I don't think DC will pay much attention to it, but I thought it was really cool. And I'll explain why DC won't pay attention to it here momentarily. But this is a piece of fan art that gives the DCEU Justice League a medieval makeover. And I'm going to just click on this image. Oh, you can't see that. You can't see that. Let me go. I need to switch screens. Bear with me, please. Bear with me so I can switch screens so you guys can see this. Share screen. That threw me for a loop. All right, here we go. So fingers crossed you guys can see that, and you can. So this is fan art. This person basically gave Zack Snyder's superheroes a medieval makeover. He basically put them in medieval armor. That Batman looks pretty dope. I wish that the bat signia was yellow or gold or something like that. I think that would have been really cool, but it looks pretty cool. The Dark Knight is indeed a Dark Knight. Scrolling through, here's Superman. I'm not so crazy about that helmet. Specifically probably the chin strap and the nose thing that I'm not a huge fan of, but the shoulder pads and the chest piece is dope. And this one I think is gorgeous. Maybe it's because it's the actual actress in the thing. The guy, I guess, used Photoshop and actually built this image around an actual photo of the actress playing Wonder Woman. I thought that was incredibly well done. And then here's the Flash. I'm not so crazy about this one. It's cool. I would love to have maybe seen it from the side so I can see the ears with the wings. I thought that would have been a really nice touch, but just something that I saw earlier today that I thought was pretty cool. And again, I don't think that DC is going to pay any attention to this thing at all because it's Zack Snyder's version of the superheroes. So, oh my goodness. So Mac is in here. How you doing? Mac, watch me. Look at me. Look at me. It's 1G. Just one G. You get one mistake, sir. He says, I love Isolation and I cannot wait for issue 2. I'll be honest with you, Mac, your comment is well timed. It's well timed. Doug is in the room, the writer behind Isolation. I would love to take credit for it. I am unable to. I was, as Doug said it, I'm the Stan Lee behind all this stuff. We actually have issue 3. There is a script for issue 3 that has already been written. I have not yet read it, Doug, but I am working my way towards it. There are a few things that I'm working on now, a few other projects that maybe you guys will hear about. But shout out to Doug. Shout out to Doug for being a very talented writer. Doug, I cannot wait for people. Mac, I cannot wait for you to get issue 2 in your hands. Fingers crossed that it happens before the end of the year. Paperback is on here. He says they could have used these concepts for the Dark Knights of Steel by Tom Taylor. That's what's up. That she looked good, didn't she? She looked good. I thought that was really well done. Scrolling through Ezra. You guys are hilarious tonight. You guys are hilarious. I know, brother. I know. I got to make time for it. I'm a huge fan of Dwayne The Rock Johnson, so I need to make some time to actually check it out. I need to. I had a friend that I used to work with several companies ago. She and I have remained friends all this time. And she used to sit, I had a corner office and she sat across from my office in a windowless office, but everything is glass. So I literally could see right into her office. And we were very, very good friends. We worked very closely. She was basically my work wife because she did work for me, different department, but in service to my department. And we've remained friends all these years. She had an opportunity to go to a meeting that happened to be in Charlotte, and she picked that meeting so that she could come hang out with me. So she came here to the house. We hung out for a few hours. I took her on a tour of the property. I gave her a tour of the house, that kind of stuff. But just a really cool person. So I've been busy is the point. That is the point of the story. I've been very busy with things, including real life people that show up at my house. Scrolling through some of the comments here, seeing what else you guys are talking about. I know. I'm slacking. Scrolling through. That's why I haven't. Doug never is at a shortage for words. I'm gonna be honest with you, and I think that that's one of the fantastic things about him. I tell you, we also have made tremendous progress on volume 2 of the Guide to Smart Comic Collecting. Yes, there will be a volume 2 of the Guide to Smart Comic Collecting. It is not a rehash. It is not a rehash of the olds. It is a brand new book written from the grounds up. It has been to the proofreader. She gave it her blessing, and we are making some magic happen. There we go. So Dirty, how you doing, brother? So I have a good friend named Dirty, how you doing? He says, you are the Casey Kasem of comics, my friend. I was thinking of the reason why I liked your show. Your voice is so much like him. That is very much a compliment. Casey Kasem is a legend. There was an auction that came up a couple of months ago. You could get his microphone. I was very tempted, but as I alluded to in the early part of this show, I'm a Mac house. This is a Mac house because of my wife. I don't think that Casey Kasem's microphone was compatible with my Mac setup, my Mac-induced setup. Scrolling through some of the comments here, seeing what else you guys are talking about. Got my isolations on New Comic Book Day. Let's go. Deuces, I appreciate you, brother, picking that up. Shout out to the other people that were able to pick up some copies of Isolation. We have graded copies of Isolation available on the website. Unfortunately, a lot of people have actually asked me this. We have no 9.9s or 10s, but we do have a couple of 9.8s, including of the premium cover. So if you are interested in picking up a graded copy of Isolation, they are available on regiecollects.com. Pre-orders, I'm still... Stay tuned, brother. Stay tuned for that. We will make that magic happen as we get a little bit closer. We will tee that up. We had to, if you remember, we had to get through the thing that was happening with the Kickstarter. We had to get through that. There's something else that I want to try to do now that the Kickstarter has ended. There's something that I want to do, and then I think we're going to try to do the pre-sales for issue 2 of Isolation as a result of the Kickstarter not being successful. And it's actually okay. It's all an experiment. Some people sent me messages and they were like, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm perfectly fine. But as a result of the Kickstarter not being successful, issue 2 is coming out. Rest assured, the print run will just be smaller, which means that the pre-sales will be more important, right? Because the print run will be smaller. There is no doubt about that as a result. So if you are interested in getting a copy of Isolation 2, I definitely want to encourage you to stay tuned, because we are going to make some magic happen with that. All right, scrolling down through the comments here. Will CGC acknowledge? Of course. Yeah, they're yellow labels, brother. CGC has been acknowledging my signature from the very first thing that we sent in. We don't have an agreement with CBCS, but I would like to maybe get one in place. So if somebody wants a CBCS book, we could probably make that magic happen. But when we do signed copies of books, because I am the publisher and or the writer, Doug is the writer and or co-author of some the things that we do. We have signatures on file, so we are able to get yellow labels for everything. So that is kind of gross. It's kind of gross. I don't want to get anybody's DNA off of anything, sir. I don't want that. I don't want that. Miguel, did we reprimand Miguel already, or that was somebody else? It's 1G, Miguel, just 1G. X-Men 92 run. Have you read it? Is that the title, X-Men 92? If so, no, I have not read that. I am a big fan of the primary titles, so Uncanny X-Men would be what I have read, not necessarily the offshoot. Like, I'm an ASM guy, not necessarily a Web of Spider-Man or Spectacular Spider-Man. I am a ASM Spider-Man fan. I didn't even know about Isolation until my LCS recommended. They were only LCS in the area. That Nirvana, shout out to Nirvana in Tennessee. That's what's up. That's what's up. Scrolling through some of the comments here. All right, I think I'm sort of caught up. All right, let me tell you guys about one additional thing. My friends over at Shortbox have some good stuff going on. Well done, brother. Well done. What's your most anticipated comic that's coming out? Isolation 2, my own comic, is the one that I'm most excited about. I'm very much anticipating that one being a bestseller. I'll be honest with you, super pumped about that. So my friends over at Shortbox are doing some pretty cool stuff that I wanted to hip you guys to as I was getting ready to sit down for the show. This news came out that they are doing a punch card, and of course that caught my attention because of all the jokes that we make here on the channel about punch cards for people that appear on the show. But they're doing it a little bit different. They are launching, Shortbox that is they're launching a Shortbox Punch Club. After 10 purchases, you will receive a promo code equal to 50% of the lowest price book. So if you purchase 10 comics, right? If you purchase 10 comics, they are basically going to give you a discount code equal to 50% of the lowest price of the 10 books that you buy. So you basically can get your 11th book at a discount. At the end of the day, that's what the long and short of it is. They have a little graphic here that kind of paints the picture of what that actually looks like. And if you've bought something going back to September 1st, so 14 or so days, they're actually going to prorate you on this thing. And yes, they write here as if they were answering questions that Mark had. Yes, it is available to all users in the US, Canada, and also the UK. So I thought this was pretty cool. Something different, innovative, if you will, incentivizing people to make purchases and to continue making purchases. Buy 10, get the 11th half off. My folks over at Shortbox have the Shortbox punch card. So I thought that was cool. I wanted to make sure that I shared that with you guys. I'm a huge fan of these guys over at Shortbox. They allowed us to camp out in their booth at San Diego Comic-Con, and they are also going to allow us to hang out in their booth at New York Comic-Con. We will be on site, I do believe, every single day of New York Comic-Con from 12 to 1. 12 to 1, Doug and I will be on site. We will be there signing copies of Isolation. If people have copies of the guide that they want us to sign, we can sign that as well. And yeah, so that stuff is going down. I had hoped that we were going to have issue 2 for New York Comic Con, but it was really aggressive. What we were trying to do, what I was trying to do was very aggressive. And I did not want to sacrifice the quality of the book for trying to meet a deadline that I essentially made up, that being New York Comic Con. So we won't be doing that. They're all very good people, no doubt about it. From the CEO all the way down, they are all really good people. Punch Card is Master Blaster's marketing guy. There you go. Well done. Well done. All right, cool. So with that, again, I want to give a huge shout out to Mark for hooking me up with Nosferatu and also a challenge coin. We still have one video left to drop this week. It's going to be a video on Todd McFarlane, and there's a possibility that another podcast will be coming out this week as well. I sent a file over to my brother, and I think he's going to release it at some point this week as a podcast. So if you are interested in taking some Regie on the go, you can actually do that by accessing the podcast on various podcasting platforms. If you search for Regie Collects, you will be able to find it. So again, a couple of cool things that are coming. Let's acknowledge this comment here real quick. Bill says, it sucks that Shortbox is not available in Australia. Looks like an awesome service. What I will tell you, Bill, because I interviewed the marketing guy from Shortbox, is that they are in beta phase. They are in beta phase with rolling this out to Canada and also to the UK. And as you know, international business is very, very complex. This is a homegrown platform in the sense that it is collectors that have built this for collectors. They are a small business. They are in beta right now for the UK and Canada, and they have every expectation to expand into other parts of the world. What I would say to you is remain patient and allow this small yet really awesome company to work through the complexities of international business, because there is a lot that is involved with this. Shipping alone is bananas to figure out. Let's be honest about that. So I would say it sucks that it's not yet available in Australia. That's how I would rewrite that sentence. There you go. So one thing I will also tell you guys is that if you felt like Isolation issue number 1 was really good, you haven't seen anything yet. There are a lot of important first appearances and important activities taking place in issue 2. The covers that I've been showing sporadically at the end of live streams and accidentally, right? The covers are also telling a little bit of a story, and you are actually getting a look at some really important characters that will be forthcoming. So if you guys are excited about Isolation, rest assured that it is coming. Bear with us as we continue to work through all of the stuff that has to be done to get a comic out to people. All right, with that said, we're going to wrap this thing up. I want to thank you all for hanging out with me just a little bit. If you enjoyed this show, I definitely want to encourage you to go ahead and hit the thumbs up button. And if you have not yet subscribed to the channel, I want to personally invite you to do that right now. Just go ahead and tap that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and that way you won't miss out on any of the content that comes out from my channel. If you need to reach out to me, feel free to do so on Instagram at Regie Collects 1G.
My body ate itself until it found this passion. They got fat while we starved, but it's power in fasting. Until I turn to ashes, I remain stoic through my rap heroics. I painted 10,000 poems, then I drank the potion of poetry and motion. I started choking, it was potent. My throat chakra downloaded, knowledge hungry. I was embarrassed I could ask my parents for money when I had a full tummy. So I asked for wisdom, better than crypto, sweeter than honey. I don't take it for granted, I don't wear capes and masks.